The message came while I was rinsing blood-red wine from a glass I didn't remember filling. Family Christmas party at 6:30. We have something important to discuss. Signed with her name, my new wife. 6 years of silence, and suddenly she remembered I existed. I stared at the screen, letting the meaning drip slowly into me like poison entering a vein. The stepchildren who walked through me like I was a ghost. The dinners where my chair stayed empty, though I was in the next room. The quiet cruelty of being treated as a placeholder, a salary, an accident. They buried me long before I died. Yet now they wanted a conversation. A dry laugh escaped me. I didn't recognize the sound. It felt like something old waking up. I wiped my hands on a towel, the house too quiet around me, and pulled up the news article again. My face, my name, Forbes. Everything changed the moment I appeared on that list. Suddenly the dead man had value. I stood there in my kitchen, phone still glowing, and felt the old wound stir, not with pain, but with something colder, a plan. Not revenge, not yet, just clarity. I typed nothing back. I didn't need to. I already knew who I would bring with me, and why. The betrayal began long before the silence. I just didn't see it. Or maybe I did and pretended not to. That's the thing about emotional rot. It never arrives loudly. It seeps, softens, hollows out the beams until the whole house sinks under the weight of its own pretense. I used to believe she loved me. I used to convince myself the stepchildren would warm up eventually. But affection isn't a currency you can force into circulation. Every birthday, they forget. Every meal eaten without invitation. Every conversation held around me, never to me. I became a shadow they learned to ignore. Her phone used to light up at night. Quick messages, smiles she tried to hide, bathroom trips that took too long. I asked once, "Everything okay?" She answered with silence that felt like a slap. The truth hovered back then, just out of sight, waiting for me to stop being a coward. I should have left. I didn't. Some part of me still believed in the lie. When the business took off, I spent more nights working, less time watching her drift. Success became my escape. I didn't realize she was using the distance, my distance, as justification for whatever she was hiding. But success also sharpened my instincts. I started noticing things. The way she closed her laptop when I entered the room. How she talked to her children in whispers when I walked by. How none of them said my name unless they needed something small and transactional. They weren't a family who forgot me. They were a family who didn't want me. And now, they wanted something again. I didn't confront her, not yet. I learned long ago that silence is the sharpest tool. I started digging, quietly, methodically. Phone records, shared cloud files she forgot to unlink, bank statements, location history. Piece by piece, the picture formed. There was another man. Of course there was. Not new, old, predating me, running parallel to me, a double life disguised as boredom. He wasn't impressive, he wasn't successful, he wasn't anything really, but he was familiar, predictable, a comfortable lie she'd never let die. The stepchildren knew. They always knew. My presence had been an inconvenience from the beginning, useful when bills needed paying, disposable when emotions required authenticity. I was never meant to stay, just to fill the cracks. I printed what I found, a folder thick enough to speak for itself, and then I waited. The evidence arrived in the form of a single final report. Timestamps, locations, messages too explicit to misinterpret. I didn't react. Emotion was a luxury I no longer rented out. At 6:30, I walked into her mother's house. Warm lights, fake cheer, the smell of cinnamon masking decay. She approached me first, smiling too wide, arms open as if she hadn't spent 6 years pretending I was dead. "We're so glad you made it," she said. I handed her the folder. Her face drained, her breath caught, her hands trembled. She flicked through the pages, faster, desperate, as though speed might change the ending. The room fell silent. The stepchildren froze, eyes wide, guilt leaking through the cracks. I said nothing. Nothing was necessary. Truth speaks loudly when delivered calmly. I leaned in, voice low, controlled. I know who I was to all of you. She swallowed. I raised a hand. Silence. This, I said, tapping the folder, is the only conversation you get from me. Her eyes filled, not with remorse, but with fear. Fear of losing the man she thought she could return to when life demanded convenience. I stepped back, letting the distance widen like a wound. Then I turned, and someone stepped out from behind me. The person I'd brought. My attorney. She recognized him instantly. Her mouth opened, closed, opened again. I didn't wait for a reaction. We walked toward the door while her world collapsed behind me. Outside, the air was cold enough to sting. I liked the sting. It reminded me I was alive. For 6 years, they buried me under their indifference. For 6 years, I let them. Not anymore. I didn't look back at the house, not once. Some endings don't require fire. Some only require truth. And the truth was enough to burn them on its own. I exhaled, slow and steady, the night swallowing the last of my anger. They wanted a Christmas miracle. Instead, they got clarity. And clarity is the cruelest gift I know.